Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cazenovia, New York, for this matchup between the Cazenovia Lakers and the Skaneateles Lakers in boys lacrosse section 3. I'm Julian Barron alongside Tyler Melito. It is a pleasure to be here. It's already 1-0 Cazenovia because, Tyler, we had some technical difficulties to begin this game. Always fun, right? Technology always reliable.
Technology is one of the funniest things you'll ever meet. I think it's even funnier than a stand-up comedian. But yeah, so 1-0 already. Gannon Houghton, the sophomore midfielder for Cazenovia, puts the first goal on the board for the Lakers. It's kind of funny how Lakers versus Lakers, like, I was looking at the rosters last night. You can't make this stuff up sometimes.
Yeah, I know we got two teams with the same nickname now. We'll drive coming in hot, and we'll go back behind the net as we get everything situated here. It's Brody Coleman for Cazenovia, lofting a little bit high to the far side over the head of Gannon Houghton. And now we're going to have a flag out. This will be enforced.
Most likely a slash. Yeah, legal check on Skaneateles. Big storyline in this game, I'm going to point it out right now. Cazenovia goalie Ian Fossovit out for this game, shoulder contusion. Replacing him is going to be number 35, Carter Polhouse. So it'll be interesting to see what the Skaneateles offense is going to do against the backup goalie here.
Now we're going to find out as Cazenovia will, up 1-0, have a chance on offense to do some damage.
Man up offense.
Passing over to the top and thinking about a shot there. Instead, he steps back and takes his time getting it as Cole Bassick, a fire end shot. He scores. It's Cole Bassick, the Mercyhurst commit, who scores, sends it into the net, and it is 2-0 Cazenovia.
That was a beautiful cross-field pass from Ryan
Romagnoli.
Romagnoli.
There we go. We got a whole bunch of interesting names on this Cazenovia roster.
I was trying to practice him before, and that was one that I kept trimming up. That's his second assist on the game, and that was a beautiful feed across the field, looking for his teammates. Cole Bassick put it right in the top right corner of the goal.
So funny enough, it's actually also Cole Basic. So we're getting all of our names
Yeah.
locked down here. You could probably tell that to begin this game, we had just a whole plethora of technical difficulties, and that really occupied everybody on our staff. So now we're just trying to catch up with what's going on down on the field. Either way, glad to be with you here, and the face-off won by Skaneateles. They'll take it to the right, and we can finally get situated here on CMY Stream. Glad to have you aboard for this Saturday afternoon matchup. A little bit of tussling on the near side. It'll go over to Cazenovia. So forcing the turnover, coming over to get it, will be Gannon Houghton.
Thanks for tuning in. Even with the Masters on this weekend, I'm sure you'd much rather be watching golf. But
oh yeah, of course, I know you would, Tyler. Right?
I definitely would. Tiger. I've been asking some of our crew here, what's the Tiger Woods update?
Yeah, way to make it subtle. Really appreciate that.
Sorry.
Now, behind the net they go, and just trying to find the perfect passing lane. Now Cazenovia on offense, up by 2-0, and first quarter. Got about 3:37 to go here in the first quarter of play. The clock over behind us. And coming in for a drive is Brian Pezzi, and he will take that low ground ball shot, and he scores. Brian Pezzi able to put it in and make it 3-0 Cazenovia. A real nice job by Pezzi to hit that ground ball, and it just bounced right into the back of the net.
Yeah, beautiful goal by the junior attackman. Got it right past starting goalie Quentin McLeod for Skaneateles, and just can't. Those are the hardest shots to save if you're a goalkeeper. The low bounce shots, because ideally the goalie, they keep their stick up high. So coaches always teach their players, shoot low, and you will guaranteed more likely to score a goal there.
So we're set for the face-off here. 3-0 Cazenovia in the Laker Bowl, if you will.
Interesting so far. Cazenovia, although Skaneateles has not had the ball much, they have done a very good job of stopping Pat Hackler for Skaneateles.
Yeah, and now I think we may get a personal foul.
Yes. Cross-check to the back.
Yeah, they're going to call that a 30-second penalty, so see another man-up opportunity here. And Skaneateles will get their roster set on the left side, and they'll figure out everything they need to figure out with head coach Ron Doctor. Skaneateles coming into this game 3-2 on the season. Last game, a loss to CBA, a very talented CBA team that absolutely obliterated Jordan Elbridge.
And you mentioned it before, Skaneateles is led by head coach Ron Doctor. Recently picked up his 500th career win back on April 1st. So congrats to him. He's now got 501, and he's looking to continue that growth. Second most in Central New York lacrosse history, to my knowledge.
Here's Nick Womp. He passes to the near side for John Danforth. Danforth loses it, then gets it back. Danforth now back to the top. Womp will pass to the far side for Evan Brunel. Brunel a pass back to the near side. Fire shot, no good from John Danforth. Goes to the end line out of bounds, but Skaneateles will hold on to it. It's Grayson Brunel over there to get it. Brunel had 3 goals and 1 assist in the game against CBA earlier this week, and a shot, and he scores close to the crease, though, as Evan Brunel puts it in. They do call that a good goal, and we're going to get that flag out and enforced after the goal, so it's 3-1.
Beautiful goal in front by Evan Brunel. It was a one-on-one with him and the goalkeeper, and just put it in the back of the net. A little fancy move there to get it behind.
Yeah, a real nice job of finding a open passing lane and able to get that shot in there. Good to get Skaneateles on the board for the first time today. 3-1 is your score in favor of Cazenovia here at Cazenovia College, not Cazenovia High School, in the small town of Cazenovia, New York. They have 2 available lacrosse fields for a game of this magnitude, and they chose the one at the college rather than the high school for today's game. Fighting for the ball off the face-off, and we'll see if it gets ruled either way, but instead it's
looks like
Will McGlynn goes over to try and get it for Skaneateles, and McGlynn is able to bring it in for a moment. Now just tussling over there with Trey Shug.
And it looks like,
I'm not sure what they're going to call here. We do have a flag on the field.
it's possible someone stepped out of the box for offside, but
it didn't look like it.
nah. Slashing penalty.
Oh, so we're going to get yet another penalty, this time a slash, and it'll present another man-up opportunity.
And the guy with the ball right now for Skaneateles, Pat Hackler. He is the guy that if Cazenovia wants to win this game, they got to stop him. He is balled out so far this year. He's got 23 total points, 15 goals, 8 assists. In his career, he's now a senior, 213 points, with including a 64-goal year his sophomore year. That's just insane.
Yeah, that's incredible. Pat Hackler, also the star quarterback for the Lakers football team in the fall. Over to the far side, Grayson Brunel couldn't bring it in for a moment. Now he gets it back out to Nick Womp. Womp for Danforth, back to Womp, and Womp steps back, again trying to find that perfect setup for an assist. It's bobbled by Brendan Powers, and it goes behind him. Cazenovia going to try and go ahead and clear here. They pass to the near side over the head of the intended receiver, I guess you could say, for Tony Heaney. He was trying to get it, and instead it's going to be a Skaneateles shot that's deflected. Goes back into the corner on the right side, and that will give Cazenovia possession, as it looked like, at least from our vantage point, Tony Heaney chased the shot well, and he will get the ball. Oh, and Heaney falling down and trying to bring it in bounds, and he's able to get it back. So I guess a ground ball, he dropped it, picks it up. He does get a ground ball for that.
Yes. So far, Carter Polhamus for Cazenovia has done a very good job in the net. And no push penalty is called, much to the dismay of Cazenovia head coach Dave Falk.
Yeah, all sorts of calls coming from the near side from both benches. The upset that there's no call there from Cazenovia. This shot high in the air, and it'll go past the end line. And we'll see who gets possession. It should be Cazenovia.
Great defense by the Cazenovia defender. Chasing down Pat Hackler, got all stick to really disrupt that shot. That should have been a goal. But the Cazenovia defender got his stick in there and knocked it away.
Yeah, so it was Wendell that chased the ball out of bounds. Now coming over for it is Gannon Houghton. Houghton, rather. Near side, racing to the sideline. Chase Willard. Willard double teamed. He's thrown to the ground.
Big hit right there.
Yeah, Skaneateles able to force the change of possession. It's Will McGlynn, and McGlynn will step back. Now ready to bring it across midfield, and he does. Gets it over to Nick Womp. Womp getting hacked at. Now trying to turn around and just set up this offensive possession. Lost the ball for a moment. Now at the far side, Grayson Brunel. Brunel racing back to X and trying to find an open lane to shoot. He does shoot, and this one bounces into the crease, and we'll get a stoppage.
21 seconds remaining in the quarter. We'll see what the pace will be for Cazenovia, as it looks like they'll have the ball.
Yeah, I believe a timeout. Oh no, rather, do we know exactly what they called there? I don't believe it was a crease violation. It may have been. regardless, Cazenovia is going to have the ball here and working it down the near side. It's Gannon Houghton. Skaneateles able to get it back, and they'll take a long shot, and that one will bounce up into the air. Saved well. That'll end the first quarter. So an exciting first quarter for a whole myriad of reasons. First being, of course, the fact that we had difficulty getting on the air for whatever reason may have been that we had an issue with our camera. We're able to fix it, and we're back on the air now, and Cazenovia leading 3-1 as we head into the second quarter of the Laker Bowl. So, Tyler, we can all take a deep breath, I guess you could say.
Yes, I could finally gather my thoughts, if you will, Julian.
Yeah, we were thrown into action, and,
Yes.
and it was a lot to take in to begin. But, you know, we still were able to make a couple of observations. I think one being that Skaneateles is going to be absolutely ruthless and aggressive on offense today.
And on defense as well. Like, you've seen a couple big hits out of these Skaneateles defenders when Cazenovia is trying to push the pace a little bit. And Skaneateles is not backing down. Although they're down 3-1, it's going to be a hard-fought game this entire way.
Yeah, and we've seen that so far. Just a lot of physicality on both sides. Coming into this game, the Cazenovia Lakers 1-4 on the year, and their last game a 10-7 loss to Watertown at Watertown. So they're just trying to rebound off of that. Skaneateles also coming off of a loss, that one to CBA in Syracuse. So both of these teams coming into this game saying, hey, you know what? We're trying to beat the Lakers.
Yes. First league game for both of these squads, so this will be huge as the season progresses. It's still early in this 2019 season.
Very early, in fact, yes.
But these early games are what matters most as the postseason emerges, especially when you're jockeying for position.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And
Yes.
the breeze starting to pick up a little bit here in Cazenovia.
It was interesting. I was looking at the forecast this morning. It was supposed to say 60 degrees, sunny. It's interesting to see because a lot of these games have been cold weather games, and now here we are, 60 degrees and slight breeze. I think these are ideal conditions for all parties here.
Yeah, you would think so, except for the fact that people probably hear the wind coming over our microphones a little bit.
That's true.
That probably doesn't help because we are in an unexposed booth here in Cazenovia College. We're out here with the elements, I guess you could say.
Yes.
There will be a fight for the ball at the face-off X. So let's see who's got it. A whole bunch of blue and white jerseys in there fighting for it. It's Trey Shug over there for Cazenovia. This one will go over to the left side, waiting for it. Got a couple of defensemen there. And let's see who's got it. It's Skaneateles momentarily taking what looked like a shot that just maybe trickled out of his stick. We got a flag that came with all of that commotion.
It was a shot to the head. The moment the Skaneateles player picked up the ball, got drilled right in the head. So Skaneateles will have another man-up opportunity. We'll see if they can capitalize.
So Skaneateles down by 2. We'll go ahead and try and make something happen offensively here. And if you're up a man, what do you think the play call is? Just pass it around until you find the open man?
That is 100% right. I'd say just move the ball around. Hopefully someone will get open. And ideally, you're going to look for Pat Hackler. He's going to be in there. The last time the
coming in for a hot shot there.
Yes.
Excuse me, Tyler.
Good.
Sorry. No, it's Grayson Brunel who came in and fired it just a little bit to the left of the crossbar. It goes out of bounds. Skaneateles holds on to it. And again, Brunel with it now that the near side, Nick Womp. And Tyler, I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Last time Skaneateles had the man up as they score a goal right there.
Thinking that you had a clear lane to go ahead
Yeah.
and explain yourself. Instead, it's Brendan Powers who so rudely cuts you off and makes it a 3-2 game.
You know what? I will allow it. I'm fine with it. They got their goal. But as I was mentioning before, the first time Skaneateles had a man-up opportunity, they ended up scoring a goal, but they had Pat Hackler in the middle. This time he was on the outside, facilitating the offense a little bit more, resulting in a goal either way.
So we'll get another face-off off of the Brendan Powers goal, the sophomore attackman, making his presence known here today for Skaneateles, and I think it's going to be possession Cazenovia. So to the right side we turn, and we'll see what they're able to accomplish here. This Cazenovia Laker team, Brody Coleman passes to the far side, and waiting over there is Tony Heaney, the senior midfielder, as they'll make a couple substitutions. Coleman comes over, and he will receive the pass from Heaney.
Yeah, this team, they're led by head coach Dave Fowles. Fun fact, I was reading this last night. So Coach Fowles was an attackman for Hobart College many years ago, and he won 4 straight national championships with the university.
Coming in hot, Brody Coleman now passing to X, and a chance for Cazenovia to perhaps get a wraparound shot and a look at the net here. It's Cole Basic trying to turn around and fire, and he does. And he plants this one into the turf. It goes out of bounds past the end line, and it'll be Brian Pezzi over to get it. And, you know, we know Hobart, a really storied lacrosse program here in upstate New York over in Geneva, and they play Syracuse every single year.
It was an interesting game a couple weeks ago when Syracuse and Hobart played. Ultimately, Syracuse came away with the win, but both squads very talented.
Here's the junior Ty Fryer coming in hot, looking for the shot, and that one may have bounced off the crossbar. It goes out of bounds to the near side. What did you see there, Tyler?
It was a good move by the Cazenovia player. He got around to the outside and then just beat his man with pure speed.
That's exactly what you're looking to do, and
yeah.
I'm sure that Dave Falge, the head coach of Cazenovia, is probably pretty happy with that attempt.
Yes, indeed. You got to just get shots on goal. As many people would say, the one way you're going to win is just keep shooting, keep firing. Eventually, some will go in. And even with this three-headed monster that Skaneateles has in goaltender, led by Quinton McLeod.
Yeah, it was a real nice look there for Cole Basic. He shot it, and the Mercyhurst commit not able to convert as it was brought in by Skaneateles, taken the other way by Ben Spinelli, and now the Skaneateles Lakers setting up their offense on the left side of the field. From our vantage point, it's John Danforth. Now to the near side, we go for Nick Womp, and Womp is double-teamed, pushing past the end line, and it's going to be Skaneateles ball. They'll have a chance to just take a breather as it'll be Brendan Powers, who scored the last goal, going over to inbound this one.
And now they're looking to tie the game up at 3. They're down 3-1 at one point. They're just grinding here, just trying to stay in the game. It's still early, though.
Here comes Brendan Powers setting up a beautiful shot.
Play.
Evan Brunel coming in hot, and that is a marvelous assist for Brendan Powers, who lofted it up almost like an alley-oop, Tyler.
Yeah, second goal. Oh, no goal. They're calling it home.
Oh, so I guess they called it a crease violation?
That's what it looks like.
Wow, okay.
It was a great cut by Brunel, though, and great find by Powers. Just a little bit too much momentum there.
No, it really was beautiful in every sense, except for the fact that you can't step into the crease, and that's what I would say Evan Brunel probably the most likely culprit there, stepping into the crease on the shot.
I would say 100% on that one.
Oh, now it looks like we may have had a push in the back.
It'll be in Skaneateles possession.
As the Skaneateles will have another chance after almost scoring a moment ago and having it wiped off by the crease violation. They'll take it down. If only they can clear here. Let's see if the Lakers can go ahead and clear against the Lakers.
Yes.
Far side they go. It's Pat Hackler over there. And Hackler will pass to the near side. A chance for Ben Spinelli. And
Great
Spinelli
look.
lays it in beautifully for the goal. And all of a sudden, Skaneateles has tied this game at 3 apiece. Here in the second quarter, 8:34 to go until halftime, and it's Ben Spinelli making himself known.
That was a great feed by Pat Hackler. That's a quarterback's vision right there. Across the field, Spinelli was ready for it, just gripped it and ripped it. No hesitation. That was huge right there as well.
So we go back to midfield as the wind is really spinning up here. I think there may be a tornado coming with all this wind. It's incredible in Cazenovia how the wind can randomly just pick up. I think that's a central New York thing just in general. The wind can be so sporadic.
Yes, a storm is brewing not only on the field but off the field.
Oh yeah, you took your opportunity there.
I did.
Yeah.
Bad puns.
I can't blame you. I really can't. So it'll be Will McGlynn who comes away with the ball after the face-off, and now we're going to get a timeout called by Skaneateles. So a moment to step back and breathe with 8:27 to go until halftime. I'm Julian Barron alongside Tyler Melito. It is a pleasure to be here with you on CMY Stream. And once again, we want to remind you that in this tie game, second quarter, we apologize for the technical difficulties getting on the air in the first quarter, but we are here, and we've got a great one here between two. Here's how I like to think of it. You know, you got Cazenovia over one of the nicest eastern side suburbs of Syracuse. You could say the same thing about Skaneateles, and you could say this is a true battle of the suburbs.
I could agree with that statement. I'm not a Syracuse native myself. I've only been here 6 months, but the area surrounding Syracuse is very nice all around.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and also too, very, very good programs. You could say for Cazenovia, in terms of being a quote-unquote good program, they've struggled at least to start this year, but still plenty of time to recover. 1-4 coming into this game. They've got a couple of guys on their team that are committed. They've got themselves a Mercyhurst commit in Cole Basic, Trey Shug, the Albany commit, the senior defenseman / midfielder. So a couple of guys, very talented players, and they're going to have to play through them if they're going to want to climb out of this 1-4 slump.
This is a very veteran team, 12 seniors on the roster in all. So these veteran leaders, along with head coach Dave Fouch, they will try to turn the season around, if you will, and try to right the ship. This is a huge game for them. If they win this, I think the Cazenovia is on the up and up.
Cazenovia really could use a win here. The difference between 1-4 and 1-5 is really astronomical. When those losses start piling up, you just feel yourself getting more and more suffocated. So for Cazenovia here on their home turf, I guess, considering this is not where they normally play, but it is their town. So
a couple minutes down the road.
That's right. So they have a chance here to really make a statement on their home field. So Skaneateles will clear the ball across midfield. It's John Danforth, and he passes over to Nick Womp on the far side. The junior midfielder sends it right back to Danforth. Now Womp. Womp trying to evade his defender. Doesn't really see an opening. He's just going to have to give it off to Evan Brunel, the junior attackman, who's driving it hot, able to get around his defender, and a chance for Brunel to make something happen, but they force him back to X, and he loses the ball.
Brunel already got 1 goal in the game. We saw it before, if you're just tuning in. He nearly had a second goal, but had a crease violation. Still pushing it, though.
Brunel trying to turn around on his defender, and he does, but a nice save made by Cazenovia, and beautifully done.
Yeah, Carter Polhamis there, the replacement goalie for today, as Ian Fossovit is injured with a shoulder contusion for Cazenovia. So says he should be back next week, though.
Skaneateles gets it back and momentarily has the ball, but then it's recovered over on the left side, the near side of the left side, by John Frega, the junior defenseman for Cazenovia. Now we're going to get a timeout to end the commotion.
Yeah, timeout called by Cazenovia, trying to slow the pace down a little bit. Coach Dave Fouch did not like what he was seeing. Maybe unfriendly situation for his squad. Just slow it down a little bit, get everyone settled.
And a chance now to step back and once again consider the fact that both of these teams, you know, certainly trying to, well, I'd say they're both on the opposite ends of the spectrum, right? You've got Skaneateles coming into this game 3-2. They're trying to build on what has been, I guess, technically, statistically, a good start for them. They, of course, had that loss to CBA on Thursday, but trying to build on what is a winning record.
CBA is a very good team.
That's right. CBA is extremely good. Now, Cazenovia, on the other end, has not started the season very well, and they've got an opportunity here to right the ship a little bit. And a big starting point would be finding a way to win against Skaneateles today.
They've done a very good job by my estimate. Although it is 3-3, they had an early lead. They've done a good job stopping Pat Hackler scoring-wise. They just need to continue the aggressive defense, and the offense will come eventually. If they just continue to play solid defense, eventually all they need is 1, 2, 3 goals, and they can easily win this game.
So now we'll head back down to the field, and we'll watch the left side as the ball's brought into play. And a whole bunch of screaming going on the Skaneateles sideline. I think they're trying to just make sure that matchups are correct.
Yes. When you have these dead ball situations, you really want to make sure that your defense or your offense, depending on who gifted the ball, is set up properly.
Here comes Tony Heaney with a chance to set up the goal.
Feed.
He does it beautifully. You cannot do it any better than that. Lofting it over to Brian Pezzi. Pezzi with 2 goals the other day against Watertown, and today he is putting Cazenovia into gear. They now lead 4-3.
Yeah, Tony Heaney, that was a beautiful move to start off the possession to get himself a fast break and just great vision. He could have shot the ball himself, but he found Pezzi instead. Nice feed, great goal, and now Cazenovia regains the lead.
Cazenovia building a little bit of momentum here after really it's just as nice as you can do it. Skaneateles almost had a tremendous setup assist, but that one was wiped off by the crease violation. Thankfully for Cazenovia Lakers fans, that one by Kaz was not. So at the face-off, we'll see who comes up with the ball. Whole bunch of fighting going on per usual, and eventually it's brought in by Brody Coleman, but once again lost. Let's see who gets the ground ball here.
What's been interesting here so far, there has been not a definitive face-off win. The ball has been bouncing around a lot, and it's been a lot of fighting for the ball off the face-off.
Well, that means that stick skills is going to be even more important today.
100% agree with that one.
So Skaneateles able to walk away with the ball from midfield, and they'll have an opportunity to go ahead and tie this game up if they can. Coming around the edge, Danforth taking the shot. That one bounces past the end line, and Danforth will go over to get his own miss, the senior midfielder.
Not the greatest of angles. They were running away from the goal, going to have to shoot across his body, but good attempt.
Now to X. Coming around is Grayson Brunel. And Brunel looking for the perfect pass. Instead, he kicks it back out.
Grayson Brunel, if my notes are correct, he's listed as an 8th grader.
I also have
What
that,
were you
actually.
doing in 8th grade?
You got to give him a lot of credit for being
Yeah.
able to come into this team. Class of 2023.
Playing
Grayson
varsity
Brunel.
lacrosse. When I was in 8th grade, I could not even get on the lacrosse field for my 8th grade team, and he's playing varsity lacrosse, and he's contributing greatly to the squad so far. He's already got, I believe, if I have written down, 15 goals.
So a missed shot on a bouncer, and Cazenovia will take it the other way. A chance for a quick strike, perhaps, if they can set up their personnel in time. But instead, I think they're just going to take their time, bringing in some substitutions. Gannon Houghton comes in, the sophomore midfielder, and he has the ball.
I think this is the right move for Cazenovia to slow the pressure down a little bit, make sure they get into their set offense, not rushing themselves, because they have the lead right now. They could take a little more time. Yes, it's still before the half, but if they could just score, or slow down the offense and score eventually, they're moving well.
Cazenovia just tossing around this perimeter. No sense of urgency here with
No.
5:14 to go in the second quarter, and this one is bobbled, nearly lost by Gannon Houghton. Goes back into his stick somehow. He's able to recover and pass it over to his left.
No need for urgency at all by Cazenovia.
Yeah, no, they can take their time, which is exactly what they're doing. It's Cole Basic, the Mercyhurst commit now, getting hacked at, and he'll have an opportunity to turn around as a defender, but he just can't do it.
If you're a young lacrosse player watching right now, Cole Basic, really good foot skills. Stop and go on a dime. That's what you want if you're a young lacrosse player, if you want to succeed.
So Cole Basic had it, but now we're going to get a stoppage.
It's a clock issue, it looks like. Now
It says 74 minutes left in the second quarter. I'm going to
boy.
guess that that's incorrect.
I would guess that as well. I'm guessing it's 4 minutes and 56 seconds. The clock's still running, though, which is a little odd.
And the score, I think, is also wrong, and we're going to fix that on our scoreboard. We had it 4-3, and our producer, Ben Shep, thought that, oh, maybe it was 5-3. I messed it up. No, the scoreboard here at Cazenovia is actually incorrect.
Yes.
So they're going to go fix that over to our right. And see, technical difficulties, they don't just happen to the broadcast booth.
Yeah,
they happen everywhere, and maybe I'm just trying to excuse our own shortcomings, but I'm going to take that opportunity today, Tyler.
You know, you take that opportunity because you were here an hour before trying to set up this thing, and our equipment was not working well, and all of a sudden, it just turned on.
No, I think I did enough praying to the technology gods,
Yes.
and eventually it just worked. I'll admit, I didn't do anything special.
Nah.
It just sort of happened, and sometimes fate will either take you with you, it'll take you with it, or it'll leave you behind. And I think today, fate decided to take us with it.
And I am glad it did. We get to watch a, so far, really good lacrosse game between two very talented squads.
And I don't know if we can, but Kyle Lofgren, who's one of our producers here, can we pan over to the scoreboard here at Cazenovia? You can see it says 53 minutes, and the score's wrong, and the period's wrong, and the time is wrong. So all these things that we're going to try and fix here for you.
No one person to blame, to be clear.
Oh, of
Just
course, no.
technology being annoying.
Technology, someone, or something rather, some piece of technology decided, hey, I want a 53-minute quarter.
Yeah.
And so it made it happen.
That would be interesting. I can't even. It's hard to do something for 53 straight minutes. I can't even sit in class for 53 straight minutes.
Oh, my goodness. Now, should I tell that to your professors that you have 70-minute classes with?
Oh, no, please don't. Don't tell that to my parents. Thank God they're not listening to me.
So 4:54 on the clock here in the second quarter. The score is 4-3 Cazenovia. They'll go ahead and correct that on the scoreboard. I'd like to remind you that you can find all things CNY Stream at cnystream.com, our full broadcast schedule, as well as all of our live broadcasts. It's all in one place, cnystream.com. I want to give a big shout-out to Kyle Lofgren and Ben Shep over to our right, our two producers on the day, making the 30-minute trek out here to Cazenovia from Syracuse University.
On a Saturday afternoon, they could be, who knows what they could have been doing otherwise. Homework, hanging out with friends. They decided to help us, two knuckleheads, get this broadcast on the road.
That's right. They two great guys over to our right, and so we'll definitely be paying for their food on the way back. Actually, Tyler, I think you'll be paying for all of our food. Isn't that right?
I did not hear about that. That was not in my agreement for this. But it looks like they do have the score and the time right now, so it's 4:54 remaining in this second quarter of play. 4-3, Cazenovia leads.
All right, and so we can get back to lacrosse.
Yes.
It's going to be Cole Basic starting with the ball. And number 2 for Cazenovia, Basic, has it. He'll bring it up. Basic passes down the middle of the lane, and almost a great shot from Gannon Houghton, but instead it looked like it hit off of a defender. Now Skaneateles is going to take it the other way quickly. Let's see what they can do. It's Jack Comer coming down hard.
What a shot.
Shot, and he scores. Beautiful job by Jack Comer, going wire to wire there, starting on one side of the field and finishing on the other.
See, what confused me on that play was you try to stop the guy with the ball. No one on Skaneateles, or no, it was Cazenovia, but excuse me, even tried to stop Comer coming down the field. I get it, he's a long stick player. You think he would dump it off. But the guy with the ball, if he has an open lane, he's going to shoot. Shooter's going to shoot.
So we're tied, 4-4, second quarter. It's 4:37 until halftime here at Cazenovia. We'll get yet another face-off, and I'd be willing to bet here, Tyler, that nobody's going to win this cleanly.
See, I'm going to go against you this one, Julian. I think we've had now 8 face-offs already. This is number 9. I think now someone's going to win it cleanly.
Oh, maybe so. Let's find out. No, it's not so clean. Maybe.
You're right.
Yeah, you know, history, okay, maybe a little bit clean.
I'm going to take credit for that one.
Cleaner than the other ones.
What
and
a
Danforth.
shot.
How about Danforth just laying down the hammer on a bouncer that goes straight into the back of the net, 5-4, Skaneateles, and the other Lakers now on top.
Danforth could have waited for the offense set up, and he's like, no, I got an open lane. I'm going to grip it, rip it, and just fired it right past Carter Polhamus.
So we'll get yet another face-off here, 5-4. Skaneateles now.
First lead of the game for Skaneateles. We'll see if they can hold on to it.
Oh, they kick it to their side, but instead, Cazenovia is going to come over and fight for it, but somehow John Danforth able to bring it into a stick.
Great stick skills right there.
I'll tell you, this Skaneateles bench is loud.
Yes, they are. They are a very loud bunch compared to the Cazenovia bench. That shows team unity right there. This is a team that really wants to win this game. I'm not saying both teams don't want to win, but when you have everyone on the entire roster backing their guys, that's a huge sign for a team early on in the season and as the season progresses.
Well, Skaneateles is certainly doing that. You can hear him over to our left. And now Cazenovia will go ahead and try and set up their offense. Now down by 1 in the second quarter. 3:42 to go until halftime. To the near side they go for Ty Fryer. Fryer passes to his right. It's Gannon Houghton. Now Fryer gets it back, and Fryer will send it back up to Ryan Romagnoli.
Cazenovia doing a very good job moving the ball around. Although they are now down, they're still keeping to their set offense because they know it's been working so far in this game.
And Ty Fryer passing inside, a quick shot, and he scores. A beautiful put in right down the middle. It's Gannon Houghton laying down the hammer. We're tied.
Gannon Houghton, his second goal of the game, did a great job getting into the middle. That's where you're most likely going to score. If you're in the middle, you have all your options, all 4 corners. And he did a great job right there off the bounce as well.
So we'll send it back to midfield, and we'll find out if we can get a clean and decisive face-off victory.
I'm not going to guess on this one. I just think
you sure? You sure you don't want to guess?
Yeah, I just think I'm going to be wrong.
I think this may be the time.
You think it's going to be the time?
Potentially. 3:16 to go until halftime. You see, I'm not very confident about it. 3:16 to go until the halfway mark in this game. We've got a tie ball game. I'm glad to have you along board here on CMY Stream. I'm Julian Barron alongside Tyler Melito, and now just a whole bunch of fighting, and really not surprised. And someone dying to get this ground ball and walking away with it. Jack Comer, the sophomore defenseman slash midfielder, and Comer already has a goal today. And we'll get a timeout called by Skaneateles.
Skaneateles bench are looking for a penalty from off the faceoff. I don't know. I didn't actually see if there was any penalty that should have been called.
Yeah, Ron Doctor, the head coach of the Skaneateles Lakers, is heated about it, and he was signaling over to the referee, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, the refs aren't perfect. They're like our technology.
Right.
You can rely on them, but when when they like, fail to get the call or fail to work.
Tyler, name one thing in this planet that's perfect.
I would say me, but that's 100% false.
Yeah, no, that's a humble answer.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And I would like to remind everybody, you can follow us on Twitter at CNYStream. Once again, that's at CNYStream for all things Central New York high school sports. We got solid group of 7 affiliates in the area, and we like to cover them as much as we can for you. So if you're a fan of, let's see if I can do it off the top of my head. I'm sure I can. Fayetteville Manlius, Janesville DeWitt, Skaneateles, Cazenovia, Jordan Elbridge, Manly's Pebble Hill, only for basketball, and then also East Syracuse Minoa. If you like any of those teams, then CNY Stream is the place for you.
Now I got to count my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Julian, very good job. You got them all.
There we go. You would hope that I would be able to name all 7. If I couldn't, I would really be embarrassed.
I would be questioning your credibility right now.
But yeah, that would be a problem.
You didn't, so we don't have to go down that road.
Right, exactly. Thankfully,
Yes.
able to come in and make the clutch shot, if you will. Julian Barron getting all the credit today.
Yes.
So we head back down to the field, and Skaneateles will go ahead and inbound this ball.
3 minutes remaining in the half. Let's see. I think whoever has the lead at halftime, they're going to win this game because they'll have all the momentum. Plain and simple.
Out into the corner. Got a couple of Lakers over there. It's Jack Comer alongside Grayson Brunell. And now back to the far side. The ball lost. Skaneateles is trying to take their time and calm down a little bit.
It looks like there was a Skaneateles player cutting, and that's who Brunell was looking for, but just couldn't get a solid pass off.
Now right down the middle, a chance for Dunforth, and he lays it in. Looks like that one crossed the plane, and Danforth able to get himself a goal. Skaneateles goes up by 1.
That's his second goal of the game. John Danforth has been very good so far for Skaneateles.
And so far, Tyler, tell me, along with Danforth, who else has stood out to you for the Lakers, the Skaneateles Lakers?
All right, so you got, I'd say Jack Comer. He's had a very good game on both ends before. He already got the 1 goal as the long stick defensive midfielder. He's also played very well in the defense. Another guy, though, Brandon Powers. He's been just facilitating this offense to perfection on the offensive end. He's got a 1 goal, no assists, but been a leader out there, the sophomore attackman, which is huge for a sophomore to be leading this squad. It shows great things to come for Skaneateles.
So now with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in the second quarter, Skaneateles up by 1. They've got the ball to start this possession.
Another guy, though, that has been very quiet so far. He now has the ball at number 26, Pat Hackler for Skaneateles. He's only got 1 assist, but watching him during the pregame, up and down, leading the huddle on the sideline, he told his team, bring the intensity, and he's very active up down the sideline. He was almost like a 4th coach, if you will, Julian.
Yeah, no, that's really important to have, too. You got a guy out there that's so knowledgeable. Back to X, and Skaneateles just trying to find a lane to shoot. They pass it down the middle, and a beautiful put in. You cannot ask for a better assist than that. And then it's Evan Brunell, the junior attackman, coming in and finishing it off. It's 7-5 Skaneateles.
I believe it was Brendan Powers on the feed. That was a great look, great cut by Brunell. Last time he cut down to the crease, he ended up down toward the goal. He ended up in the crease. This time he now got his 2nd goal of the game.
7-5 Skaneateles in the battle of the Lakers. 1:42 to go until halftime, and Cazenovia will try and salvage whatever they can out of this second half second quarter that so far really just has not gone their way. Skaneateles has been able to climb back from being down.
Yeah, really, Cazenovia, they were very dominant in the first quarter. The second quarter has been Skaneateles 100%, and if they can keep this up, they could easily have all the momentum going into halftime, and it looks like a timeout called by Cazenovia.
Yeah, wisely. Because number 11, Trey Shoga, was out there just getting hacked at all over the place. And when you got...
That just made great vulnerability for anyone with a long pole when they when they're controlling the ball.
Now, Tyler, you tell me, if you're a player out there, you got a whole bunch of pressure on you from the opposing defense, are you just hoping and praying for your head coach to call a timeout, or is the mindset just, I'll get out of this somehow?
The mindset is, don't think someone's going to bail you out. Now, don't obviously try to be a superhero and make the hero play. Just use your skills, use your fundamentals to get out of it. And if someone calls a timeout, great. But just know, okay, I have teammates here, I got a lane. Try to use those fundamentals to ultimately get to evade pressure.
And it's all about finding a balance, I would
Yes.
say. You know, you've got to find a balance between a lot of things in life. And I'd say in this case, you want to strike that balance between, okay, we've got a team, but there's also me, right? And I think there is a perfect balance between those two places, but it's very difficult to find.
Yeah, especially amongst young high school students. It's hard to even see it in some professional athletes. You question sometimes that balance between me and team.
Yeah, and you know what? Hold up. Don't even say high school students because we've got Grayson Brunell for Skaneateles out here. He's not even a high school student.
That is true, and he's shown great composure all season. And great defense by Skaneateles.
No, they're able to pressure Cazenovia out of bounds. Ty Fryer was practically pushed past the line.
Will McGlynn, the short stick, just pushing him out, using his feet, the fundamentals as we were just talking about, to drive Fryer out of bounds.
So Skaneateles up by 2. It's Ben Spinelli behind the goal. He's going to turn around and try and set up an open lane either for him or for one of his teammates as he's just jogging around. Now, with about a minute left to go in the half.
Skaneateles just got away with 2-minute men on the field. Number 17, Nick Womp, walked out onto the field thinking that he was going in. Turns out he wasn't.
Danforth setting up a shot for Evan Brunell, and Danforth with another marvelous assist, and then Evan Brunell finishing it off. The junior attackman making his presence known today for Skaneateles, and on the road, Skaneateles up by 3.
With 55 seconds remaining in the half. Now, Evan Brunell, that's a hat trick. I don't have a hat on me, but I'm tipping my hat to you, Evan Brunell. Great job so far this half.
And we've got another hat trick watch for you.
Yes.
Because John Danforth only one away from achieving that himself.
Yeah, already got 3 points on the game, 2 goals and an assist. Great team play by Skaneateles so far.
One thing that stood out to me, Tyler, you could probably agree, is that Danforth just, when he's out there, it looks like instinctually he just knows where to fire the ball in there, either for a goal or for an assist.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to see where his teammates are coming. He just knows instinctively where his teammates are going to be, and that's just head coach Ron Doctor's offense run to perfection.
Yeah, you really cannot ask for a more instinctive guy, at least so far today, than John Danforth, the senior midfielder. He has really been superb. Cazenovia gets the ball. 36 seconds left until halftime. Over back towards the end line to the right side. It's Cole Basic. Basic trying to turn around, had a moment to drive. Instead, he's going to take this opportunity. Basic coming in hot, and instead he'll go back to X. Chance now to wrap around with a shot. He fires it in there, but beautifully saved by Skaneateles. A real nice job in goal.
Cole Basic, he had multiple teammates. He basically held that ball for the entire possession, and especially with time running down in the half. Cazenovia on the wrong end of a goal deficit. They could have used a goal there.
And here comes Skaneateles firing it in there for another goal. This time it's Brendan Powers who finishes it off himself. And just another example of Skaneateles passing to perfection. We may get 2 assists on that goal.
You might, but great feed by Nick Womp. He had the assist to set up Powers. He could have easily had the shot himself. He was right in front of the net. But great cut by Powers to get in front of the goal for his now 2nd goal of the game. Another guy on hat trick watch.
So what was a close game at one point in the second quarter, now 9-5 Skaneateles. Still anyone's ball game with 4 seconds left to go until halftime, but the Skaneateles Lakers have really put the pedal to the metal.
I 100% agree.
And that'll do it for the first half. A lot of screaming coming from the Skaneateles sideline, but I don't think it's actually going to amount to anything.
No.
As we head to halftime, it is 9-5 Skaneateles. A fresh 10 minutes on the clock for halftime. And Tyler, give me your first half recap. Excuse me. Tell me what's on your mind.
Skaneateles has been playing marvelous lacrosse all half. They played the strongest game. They were down early in the game, but they have fought back hard throughout the entire half, and now they have a 4-goal lead, and that starts with Evan Brunell and Brendan Powers. They've just been running Ron Doctor's offense to perfection.
And it's really difficult, I'd say, to take something on paper and put it into practice, but you can tell that for whatever reason, Skaneateles, this entire team, particularly John Danforth, Brendan Powers, Evan Brunell, that trio, there's something about those 3 guys. They work well together, and it's almost like second nature.
Yes, all 3 guys, they've been Evan Brunell, a junior, Brendan Powers, a sophomore, and John Danforth, a senior. So one would think they haven't had much time to play with each other over the years in this Ron Doctor system. But their chemistry is off the charts. you must think they must hang out a lot
Yeah.
inside of school, outside of school, whenever they can to build that teamwork.
Probably,
Yes.
probably. So we'll step aside momentarily here at halftime. We'll come back for the start of the third quarter, so be sure to stay with us right here on CNY Stream. And welcome back here to Cazenovia, New York. I'm Julian Barron alongside Tyler Melito with our fantastic production crew, Ben Shep and Kyle. The Skaneateles Lakers coming out of the second quarter, absolutely on fire in every way possible, and there's nobody that chronicled that better than Tyler to my left.
Yes, I would 100. I thought you were going to say a player for a second. It caught me off guard. But yeah, the guy who's been showing up, the guys, I should say, that have been showing up for the Lakers so far. Evan Burnell, 3 goals so far. Brendan Powers, 2 goals and assists. And then John Danforth, 2 goals and assists. Great team lacrosse all around for Skaneateles.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Skaneateles, they've been sharing the ball in a way that, I personally have not seen so far this season. And I've seen a number of really good teams play. I've seen ESM, I've seen JD, I've seen CNS. They've all been really, really good. But Skaneateles today has been passing in a way that has just been absolutely masterful.
Yes, especially on all opportunities when it's man up or even field the whole time. Just the ball has been fizzing around beautifully, and that stems from head coach Ron Doctor, his philosophy of keeping the ball moving. And I like to point out, I said this early in the first half, Pat Hackler said pregame, bring the intensity to his squad. They've brought the intensity 100%.
Yeah. This is, you go into the Merriam-Webster dictionary, not a sponsor, and you look up intensity.
They could be, though.
Yeah, exactly. You look up intensity right now in the dictionary. You may or may not find Skaneateles Lakers lacrosse. Now, you tell me. I can't confirm.
They've just been pounding the goal, cutting beautifully in front of the goal to get shot attempts. And ultimately, that's how you win. More shots, more goals. More likely to win.
There you go. That's A+ analysis right there from Tyler Melito. More goals. And there's a quick shot over the crossbar. That one's going to go past the end line and out of bounds. But you're right. More goals, probably going to get a win.
Yeah, more likely. I've never seen a game where the team scored more goals lost. That's what I'm going to say.
There you go. There you go. And now everyone knows that. I'm sure all of our viewers are so grateful for that piece of knowledge.
Or they probably think, what the heck is this guy saying right now?
One or the other. It has to be. Brody Coleman passing back to the top and a chance, but not cleanly fielded by Ty Fryer. Fryer passing down the middle and an underhanded shot that goes over the crossbar. That one had a little bit of extra English on it from Chase Willard.
Great look by Fryer. Just Willard couldn't get he had his back to the goal. You're not going to score very much from there.
No, you're not. Willard was going underhanded on that one. He underhanded it above the goal. A chance now for Cole Basic to turn around on it. Instead, he passes out to Brody Coleman. And Coleman falling down, loses the ball. It's going to go over to Skaneateles.
A Ward right there. Just Coleman getting his arm a little too far out there, pushing off. And Skaneateles will retain possession, or get possession for that matter.
And Tyler, that's got to be so difficult to stop because when you're falling down, it's sometimes just instinctive to try and grab something near you or push something near you.
Or just in general, just trying to drive and penetrate. You're trying to get a guy off you. What are you going to do with your offhand?
The youngster. Over into the corner he goes. And
quiet game so far for Grayson Burnell. He has 15 goals and 2 assists on the year so far. He's got nothing so far in this game, but I think that will change this half.
Let's see. Nick Womp now for Skaneateles. Ryan Rowignoli, the defender, falls down. Still, it's Womp just backing up, trying to find the perfect setup chance. Work it back out to John Danforth, who had one heck of a first.
On the year, 15 goals.
Down the middle they go, and almost sick. Now a scrum forward, and finally the ground ball scooped up by Brian Pezzi.
They got Basic wide open on the goal line extended. Now they finally get to him. They could have gotten so much sooner. He would have had a one-on-one chance with the goalie.
Cole Basic now coming around, and this one's deflected high into the air. Second chance opportunity, and Brian Pezzi scores. Cazenovia clawing back. It's 9-6.
And guess what? Brian Pezzi, hats off to you. That's his 3rd goal of the game. It looked like there was going to be a stoppage as the Skaneateles defender fell, and he looked like he was a little shooken up. But good job by Pezzi. He didn't hear a whistle. He kept the play going.
All right, so far today.
Very electric. As Cazenovia is the first one to strike blood in the second half.
9-6, the Cazenovia Lakers from the east side of the Syracuse area trying to claw their way back and overcome the west side foe, Skaneateles. Let's see who can do it. It's the face-off at midfield. Once again, no clean winner.
And as we mentioned earlier, that's where stick skills come into play greatly. If you have good stick skills, you're 9 times out of 10 going to pick up the ball and create good offense.
And Cazenovia will go ahead and bring this one to the near side with Gannon Houghton.
Gannon Houghton very quiet so far in this game. He has 2 goals, but that was very early on in the first quarter.
Far side, Houghton just taking his time with it as Cazenovia will make a couple of substitutions. It's the junior midfielder Ryan Romagnoli checking in. Romagnoli, also a running back on the football team. I had a chance to see him last season. Had a pretty prolific game, I believe, against Mexico. Now the near side, Cazenovia will try and make some separation with once again, Brian Pezzi.
Interesting thing to make note of so far, Quinton McLeod, the goalie for Skaneateles, he's had a very good year so far, but this game he seemed a little rattled. Not as many saves as one would think he would have. A guy who has 45% of save percentage so far in the year. He just seemed a little rattled when Cazenovia.
Scully, a great job.
And right as I said it, he finally gets a really clean save right there, and now Skaneateles on the break.
Oh,
no, he does not. By the looks of it, I can't see it. It's a little far away. He's got a good head of hair coming out of that helmet. I'm jealous of him right now. But great feed by the Skaneateles player. I didn't catch what number it was. I believe it was number 22, Ryan Gick. Great bounce pass. You don't see that very often in lacrosse. A nice bounce pass to Brunel. Brunel, nice little move in front, and got it past Carter Polhamus.
Now we'll send things back to midfield. Once again, a chance for Cazenovia to perhaps go ahead and win this face-off and make it a 3-score game again.
Everything that Cazenovia has done, Skaneateles has had a response.
For Cazenovia, Pezzi just going around the goal, trying to find somebody to pass to over the head of Tony Heaney.
Tony Heaney, he thought he had the ball, just tried to start going before he actually had it in his stick.
And sometimes, Tyler, you can speak to this from experience. It's so difficult to make sure that you have the ball. Sometimes you're thinking one step ahead.
Yeah, you're trying to make, especially in this time, they're down 4. You're trying to make something happen. And sometimes you just got to step back and breathe and let things play out for themselves.
6:57 to go here in the third quarter of play. At the top, it's Brody Coleman.
Let's see if Coleman can get a move on. He's got a one-on-one matchup.
Coleman steps back after he couldn't find penetration. They work it to the far side and a chance for a drive here from Cole Basic. Basic coming in hot. He's pushed back to X. He'll have to take another chance. Basic, a spin move, and he loses the ball.
It was a nice spin move, but he had only one hand on the stick there. The goal is you want to keep 2 hands on the stick at all time. That way, you're most likely going to keep good control. You might not have as much explosiveness, but if you want to keep possession, keep 2 hands on the stick at all time, kids.
And Tyler, I can't believe they didn't call a penalty there on a push. Skaneateles, you can see, is asking for it. It looked like a clear check in the back.
I think there was a check in the back, but there was also a ward by Cazenovia, so I think they kind of countered out, the ref said.
Oh. Well, Cazenovia, again, taking that sidearm shot. That one a little bit wide, back past the end line for Gannon Houghton.
Gannon Houghton, it was a good take there. But if you have the opportunity to, for all the young players listening, sidearm shots, they will majority of the time not go in as much as the traditional overhand shot. I know it looks fancier when it does go in, but try to stay to the overhand shot. You're more likely to have success.
Brody Coleman able to recover the errant pass, and now with 5:48 to go in the third quarter, Coleman will go ahead and try and set up a drive here for himself, and he does against Jack Comer of Skaneateles. Now falling down, a chance for Skaneateles to recover and take it the other way.
Great defense by Ben Spinelli.
Quick shot chance, and he scores. Skaneateles capitalizing immediately with Evan Brunel, and it's a 5-point game after
more action for the play, and it allows teams the opportunity to score.
So I think we're going to get a 2-minute penalty here.
It was a big hit by the Cazenovia defenseman. I'm trying to figure out who it was. It was Tony Heaney. It was a big hit there. I thought it was a clean hit, but the ref saw otherwise. But then again, I haven't played lacrosse in a very long time, so what I think is a clean hit, not at all.
Well, no, Tyler, your opinion does matter, of course, and now we're going to get a quick strike and a goal. I believe they're going to call that.
And that's the product of having a man-up offense. You have the opportunity to find the open man, stretch the defense out a little bit. And Cazenovia did that. Or Skaneateles did that, excuse me. I do not know who scored it, though.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, actually. He was coming in front of or behind a Cazenovia defender, I guess, depending on which vantage point you have.
And it was a real bang-bang play right there. But nonetheless, Skaneateles has doubled. It's now doubled Cazenovia's total.
Oh, well, they're certainly paying dividends, Skaneateles is, from the hard play of all of their attackmen today. They've been about as aggressive as possible. Skaneateles up 12-6 here. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cazenovia just trying to claw back, but it'll be Skaneateles walking away with possession. Nick Womp taking it down.
Now Skaneateles, they still have the man-up advantage as it was a non-release penalty. So the Cazenovia player will be serving the full 2 minutes. Let's see what Skaneateles can do. Maybe they can put 2-3 more goals on the board.
And now back into X. There's a whole bunch of white and blue jerseys fighting for the ball, and I think we're going to get a stoppage.
It's going to go to Cazenovia. I don't know exactly what the penalty was. It's kind of hard to see the refs, so if we're missing a couple calls.
I think it was contact to the head.
Contact to the head? Oh, what a pass right there.
Oh, that was a pinpoint pass, you're right, to Brody Coleman.
Trey Shug, beautiful behind the back pass. He was a first-team All-Star per Syracuse.com, Shug was last season. And they showed the talent right there.
How about that save right there, Tyler?
Oh, beautiful save. And now Skaneateles is on the break.
Now here come the Lakers, the Skaneateles Lakers, as it's put into the left side of the net. And another score, this one from Pat Hackler, the senior midfielder. He's headed to Yale, and he's also headed to the box score with a beautiful shot like that.
His first goal of the game. He's been very quiet so far. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Pat Hackler throughout his 4 years, he heading into this game.
And I think they're confirming
how much time is left. Penalty. Minute 5 remaining. But as I was saying, Pat Hackler, 213 total points in his career entering this game. 128 goals, 85 assists. That was his 16th goal of the year. He plays football. He's a talented football player. This kid is a great athlete. And I think wish him all the best of luck as he goes on to Yale next season.
So we'll get a face-off once again. Midfield, and once again, no clean winner. The ground ball opportunity will come to the near side. Romanoli fighting for it for Cazenovia. He falls down, and going over was Danforth. Now the left side, another scrum.
No one has still picked up the ball. And it's finally picked up by Skaneateles as Hackler on the break once again.
Oh, Pat Hackler coming in hot. Passes to the far side, and into the goal they go, almost, actually, on a bounce shot that goes past the end line. Looked for a moment there just because of how many men they had down there. It was a sure thing they were going to get a goal.
I was a little confused by that play by Brendan Powers. He had the whole right side of the goal wide open right in front of him, and he just didn't take it. He just tried to get a little fancy there. And I get it. Your team's up 7 goals here. But just stick to the fundamentals. You are going to score. Don't need to do this fancy stuff.
2:29 to go in the third quarter, and Skaneateles is trying to clear. Could be a wide open chance, though, for Cole Basic, but we're going to get a whistle.
That is a poor call on the referee, in my opinion. Let the kids play on that one. That was a very solid hit. There might have been a little aggressive, but that kills all momentum for Cazenovia.
You could hear head coach Dave Fulge of the Cazenovia Lakers just screaming in disgust when that call was made.
And now the penalty is finally been released, so it's all square in terms of players on the field.
Yeah, those penalties that don't vanish when you score, they can really kill you, and so far they have for Cazenovia.
It really has killed them for Cazenovia, as now they're down 7. You see it in lacrosse, you see it in hockey. Those penalties can kill a team. And Skaneateles has taken full advantage of it in this one.
Yeah, they were calling Pat Hackler back to the sideline, and we're going to get a couple of substitutions here, I believe.
It was interesting to see what Evan Burnell can do here. He's got the ball.
At the top, Skaneateles just working a couple of guys into this game that otherwise weren't playing. It's Colin Weeks now for Skaneateles to the near side, and Weeks passes back to the top.
That is what these games can do. When you have a big lead, you could expand a little bit your roster and get some guys some playing time that might not normally see it, and hopefully when time comes where they need to play, they can contribute.
So now we're going to get a legal contact, and it's going to be turned over to Cazenovia. Fun fact for you, it's actually Hayes Danforth checking into the game, or had been checked into the game for Skaneateles. He comes out now. He's number 25. I'm going to say probably the younger brother of John Danforth, who's had a huge day for Skaneateles. We got a flag out here.
Yeah, I'm going to say you're right on that one.
And so we're going to get a 30-second push penalty on Skaneateles. And Cazenovia down now by 7 goals. 1:09 to go in the third quarter. I mean, if you're going to work your way back, you better start here.
It starts right now. Get 1, maybe 2 more goals before the end of the quarter, and don't allow any more. Cut the lead to 5 or less. And Cazenovia's got a great chance. And
Oh.
there's a goal right there.
Yeah, wound up nicely and finished off Brian Pezzi.
That's number 4 for him on the day, and no one on Skaneateles went out and got in front of him. They just let him say, here, Brian Pezzi, just have the goal.
And it's something interesting about that attempt and finished goal by Brian Pezzi. A lot of times you don't see these attackmen take, or even midfielders, take those long shots when they're deep away from the goal. But right there, Brian Pezzi said to himself, you know what? If we're going to win this game, there's going to have to be a bounce that goes our way. And so he says, I'm going to take this goal. He does, and it ends up paying dividends for him because I think in a situation like that, when you're taking a bouncer from long range, part of you is saying, I got to get this pinpoint where it needs to be. The accuracy has to be there, but also we're going to need a little bit of help from the bounce gods.
Yeah, and I think another thing on that, the goalie's not 100% expecting it. A lot of these kids in high school lacrosse, they want to make the highlight play because they know someone in the crowd is going to be watching it, whether it's their classmates or what have you. And that's you just can't simply do that all the time. Although it looks beautiful when it does work, when it doesn't work, it can be extremely costly.
So to the near side, Cazenovia with it again. It's Ty Fryer, and Fryer, with 34 seconds left in the third quarter, knows that the Cazenovia Lakers just have to get something going here, down by 6 goals, and the fourth quarter impending. It's Tony Heaney. You can see the Cazenovia sideline. You can hear him screaming, go, go. Now with 17 seconds left, they work into X, and they do not have a lot of time to play with. It's Brody Coleman.
Inside 10.
Yeah, now 10 seconds left to go. Coleman backing up, and he's got to do something. Down to 6 seconds. Brody
just couldn't get it on 100% pinpoint there. 2 seconds remaining. Let's see what they can do. Couldn't connect in the pass.
Yeah, nothing going there. 7 is your score in favor of Skaneateles, and I'll tell you, both of these teams in the third quarter, they were fighting about as hard as you could expect them, but that Skaneateles advantage that they built in the second quarter came back to really help their confidence.
It came to really help their confidence, and having the 2-minute unreleasable penalty against Cazenovia, it allowed Skaneateles to score 2 more goals there. That turns it from a 6-goal game to a 4-goal game to a 6-goal game, and is ultimately going to, well, one would think, give them the win if all things hold.
So, I'd like to remind all of you that you can find all things CNY Stream at cnystream.com. That's our full broadcast schedule, along with a full archive of all of our broadcasts. And, of course, our live broadcast can be listened to and watch at cnystream.com. So don't forget it. It's cnystream.com. And while you're at it, while you're on your web browser, your mobile phone, or wherever you access the internet, be sure to go and follow us on Twitter as well. That's at CNYStream. Once again, at CNYStream for all things Section 3 sports here in Central New York.
Quality content, I'm going to say. I'm not saying that because my boss is sitting right next to me, but you get quality content on Twitter and on the archives. You could just listen to it wherever you go.
No, you know what? I gotta say, you can't call me your boss. We're on the same playing field here. No, we can't go with that. I don't like being called that. We're all equals, right? Ben Shep, producer, to my right. Yeah, he nods his head. Yes, absolutely. Now here at CNY Stream, I'd like to think that we have a nice camaraderie between all of our staff members. We just try to get the job done as best we can. And today, aside from a few technical glitches in the beginning of this game, it's been a pretty nice afternoon.
It's been a very nice afternoon. Game-wise, it's been a quality game, and the weather-wise, it's been beautiful for Central New York. Didn't we have snow this time last week?
Yeah, we did, and it's 66 degrees right now and sunny in Cazenovia. Funny how that can change so quickly.
It is funny, and I hear we're getting snow on Monday, so let's hope that doesn't come.
Oh, I'm going to hope you're wrong. As going over for it for Skaneateles, Jack Comer, the sophomore defenseman, fighting hard against Zach Wendell of Cazenovia. And eventually it's Brody Coleman taking it the other way. Cazenovia with a real chance here. They cross the field, and it's Basic who puts it in, and he scores. Cole Basic headed to Mercyhurst next year, but the senior attackman hasn't finished here in Central New York. It's 13-8.
That's his second goal of the game. They're trying to cut this lead as much as they can, or this deficit, I should say. Cazenovia is a 1-4 squad. They are fighting right now. They don't want to give in because it's a lot different being 2-4 versus 1-5, especially although it's still 6 games into the year. Those games matter as playoffs come around.
Even though Cazenovia is down here by 5, I think it's safe to say Cole Basic, Mercyhurst is getting a real competitor for next year.
They are getting a guy who has great foot skills, great stick skills, and he is, as you mentioned, a very good competitor. He will not give in.
So Ryan Romanoli walks away from the face-off with the ball. He crosses field, and just a costly turnover by Trey Shug.
Trey Shug tried to run away with the ball without actually having the ball, and that allowed Skaneateles to get there. Good timeout called by Skaneateles.
Oh yeah, Cazenovia's going to say, how on earth could you let them get that? But, of course, the referees think that Skaneateles had possession, and I think, Tyler, it did look like they did.
I think they did, and good job by the head coach of Skaneateles, Ron Doctor, calling the timeout. I think actually it was one of his assistant coaches that called the timeout. His player was on the ground. It was in a dead situation right on the boundary. Just call a timeout and then have something set up.
I mean, you could almost say, if you're in a rut, if you need help, call the doctor. Ron Doctor, Skaneateles' head coach, able to bail his team out a little bit there as they will retain possession out of this timeout. 13-8 is your score with 11:20 to go in the fourth quarter. And Tyler, you played lacrosse for 8 years. You are well versed in every aspect of this sport. I'm sure you've been in games where you've been down, your team has been down late. What is Cazenovia thinking right now, down by 5 in the fourth?
Just stick to the fundamentals. Just control what we control, basically. Have Skaneateles make the mistakes, and if we just stick to the basics, stick to our game plan, the goals will come.
Absolutely, yeah. There's no doubt. You have to maintain the same mindset that you've always had, because one person told me, who was a longtime lacrosse player, he said to me that if you change things up late in the game and you try and tell guys to do different things than they're used to, you're only asking to lose by more.
Exactly, and I think what Cazenovia can do with the players on the field, they got to trust one another. If they could trust one another and know we are a good unit, we are a veteran unit, we could win this game, they will. Hands down.
Skaneateles using Brendan Powers at X, and he'll try and wrap around the cage if he can, but really good defense. Cazenovia holding hard with Evan Murray, the junior defender.
Brendan Powers had himself a very good game. He might get overlooked in this one, given the fact that Evan Brunel has 4 goals and John Danforth has played phenomenally, but Brendan Powers, I think, is actually the player of the game.
Yeah, a little bouncer on the shot there, and that one will be easily recovered by Cazenovia. They'll work it the other way and try and clear, but surprisingly, Skaneateles putting a lot of pressure on these clears, even up by 5.
I think the reason for that is you don't want to show that, oh, because we're up by 5, we're going to just change our mindset. As a coach, you want to tell your guys to 100% play hard all the time.
And down the middle, a beautiful shot from Brody Coleman, who was coming in hot, and it was set up by Cole Basic. So he picks up an assist, and then Coleman puts it into the net, and all of a sudden, it's a 4-goal game with 10 minutes and 18 seconds left to go until the final buzzer.
This is why you can't tune away. If you're still watching with us, thank you, because you never know what's going to happen. Here we are now. At the end of the quarter, I said it was a 6-goal game. I thought Skaneateles had this in the bag. And now here we are. Cazenovia has gotten 2 quick goals before 2 minutes into this final quarter of play. And it's a ball game now.
Oh, absolutely. And Cazenovia knows it. Down by only 4, they're going to put all their heart into this face-off. Romanoli not able to walk away with it, though. Instead, Skaneateles able to bring it the other way. I believe that's Araboni. Oh, no, instead it's actually Evan Brunel. Brunel over there on the far side. The ball's lost, and we're going to get a turnover here as the whistle blows.
That is huge now. Cazenovia has another possession. They're going to throw it across the field.
Tyler, did you see what happened there, the reason for the turnover?
I did not. There was a bunch of jerseys in the way. I was actually trying to figure out who had the ball. There's a lot of guys down there. I'm not going to lie.
Here comes Ty Fryer. Fryer passing to his right, and it's too far for Cole Basic. It'll go out of bounds.
Fryer thought that Basic was in one spot. Just so happened he wasn't. Costly turnover right there.
Yeah, that really is exactly what Cazenovia did not need. They are able to bring the ball their way, and then all of a sudden, an errant pass in the direction of Cole Basic, and with 9:50 to go in this ball game, down by 4, Skaneateles has it.
Stick on the field. It looks like the ref just brought one over. I don't know whose stick it was, but had to get a little equipment placement there.
Yeah, somebody call the equipment manager, because we're going to need a new stick for whoever that belonged to.
I didn't even know if that could really happen. A metal lacrosse shaft just gets split in half.
Not well made. That has to be it. Shoddy craftsmanship.
I'm going to say just long use.
maybe that as well. Here comes Araboni laying it down. That one bounces high over the crossbar and recovered by Grayson Brunel.
I'm gonna make a quick shout out here to Carter Polhamus. the goaltender for Cazenovia. Although they're losing 13-9 right now, he's coming in replaced for Ian Fossett, who is out this game with a shoulder contusion, and he's played pretty solidly for the most part.
Yeah, Vosvit had he had 7 saves against Watertown on Tuesday, and they're without him, of course, today. So a nice job, like you said, at least holding his own here today, despite the fact Cazenovia is down.
He has kept the team in. There could have been a lot more goals in favor of Skaneateles, and now Skaneateles is greatly slowing down the pressure, and as they should, they're up 4 with 8 minutes to go. If Cazenovia is not going to come out and pressure them, Skaneateles should just simply hold on to the ball.
And you would think that's exactly what they're going to continue to do as they back up here and taking his time. John Danforth really not in a hurry to get a shot off. He is getting pressured quite a bit by Tony Heaney, and here comes a quick shot that bounces errantly over towards the near side into the corner.
I was actually surprised Danforth didn't get called for a ward. He kind of wrapped his arm around the Cazenovia defender and pushed off, but no call. Skaneateles will retain possession.
So the clock will start again. 8:21 to go in the fourth quarter, and into the corner, Brendan Powers has it. Powers turning around.
You could hear the Cazenovia bench screaming out, that is a ward.
Quick shot and a score. John Danforth, another one for number 23 of Skaneateles.
That's another guy you owe a hat to. That's 3 hat tricks on the day. John Danforth now making it number 3.
And Danforth just fitting it into that bottom left corner of the net.
So what we thought was going to be called a ward, which is what the Cazenovia bench wanted, ends up being another goal, and now it's a 5-goal game.
And Polhemus was really put into a difficult situation there because it was a one-on-one between him and John Danforth, and 90% of the time the attackman's going to win that fight.
Yeah, it's simply because the attackman knows where they're going to put the ball. You have all 4 spots in the ball, all 4 corners, I should say. And he went low, Danforth did, and that's where you're going to have the advantage.
Another face-off coming at midfield, 8:08 to go until the end of this one. Whole bunch of fighting for the ball, and we'll see who comes away with it.
I will say this. I am impressed with the Cazenovia team. They are not quitting. They are going to keep fighting until the final horn blows.
Oh, quick shot and a laser strike. All of a sudden, Will McGlynn coming in off the face-off and laying it into the bottom of the net. You cannot do it any better.
No, that was a great push toward the goal, running away, crossed his body, got into that bottom left corner, excuse me. That's a hard play to make.
Oh, it is. And Will McGlynn fearlessly driving in there, the senior attackman throwing down the hammer and imposing his will on Cazenovia.
And this game is now Cazenovia. They let up Skaneateles let up 2 goals, and now they've scored 2 right back.
Yeah, remember back in the day, Cazenovia was actually leading this game 3-0.
Yeah, they were. And I don't know whatever head coach Ron Doctor said to his team when they called an early timeout, but it has worked to perfection. Since then, they're on a 15-6 run.
And I think we're going to get a timeout, or we can get a timeout called by Cazenovia.
That's
I think
what
that
it
is.
looks like.
Yes, sir. That is exactly what we're getting. And I want to take a moment with 7:44 to go in this ball game to give a quick thank you to our production team of Kyle Offren and Ben Shep to my right, 2 valued members of our CNY Stream staff. And of course, it's been a pleasure so far to call this game with you, Tyler.
Julian, I could not thank you more. I wasn't even supposed to call this game. You hit me up last night and were like, Tyler, can you call it with me? I'm like, I would be honored to.
Well, because there was, in my mind, I want to turn to a guy who knows lacrosse well, and you were someone that popped into my head. Knowing your background of lacrosse, it was nice to have you here today. It is nice to have you here today, and we've got a nice little 7:44 stretch left in this one. Cazenovia charged with the task of somehow coming back from a 6-goal deficit. If you are head coach Dave Falge, I don't know what you're telling your guys right now, but Tyler, you may.
I think simply just don't quit. Regardless of whether or not Cazenovia wins or loses game, you just can't quit. You just can't quit. Plain and simple.
Don't quit. Well, really 3 words, but we're going to call it for the sake of the saying 2 words. Don't quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit.
Because that will be the mindset for the rest of the season for this team. If they quit on this game, that just shows that they are not invested into this year, and this will be a lost cause for the season.
And, of course, we have to take a moment just because we know what's going on. We got a couple of golf fans in this game. Ben Shep, our producer, tell us what's going on at the Masters.
Tiger's only 1 back of the lead.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, well, you're certainly unbiased, aren't you, Tyler?
I want Tiger to win As a huge golf fan, this is what golf needs. I think Tiger winning a major would be huge for the sport.
Gannon Houghton over at the top of that perimeter trying to drive inside. He's being fought on hard by the Skaneateles defense.
Let's see if Houghton can get something to go. He had 2 early goals, but he's been quiet ever since.
Back to the top they go. They don't have all day to work this possession. 7:11 to go in the fourth quarter. Bobbled by Cole Basic, and he's somehow able to escape, falling down against Daraboni. Maintains his footing, able to drive inside, and he throws errantly to the near side. That ball's going to go out of bounds. It'll be Skaneateles ball.
I think that pass was intended for Ryan Romagnoli, but Romagnoli slipped and it got away.
So Skaneateles will send it into the stick of Will McGlynn to bring this ball in.
That rhymed there. Good job.
Didn't even try. That's how good I am, Tyler. That's how good I am.
Man, very humble, Julian. I'm impressed.
To the near side, Skaneateles is trying to evade this Cazenovia pressure.
Push off Cazenovia.
My goodness. I think that's a bit of a ticky-tacky call.
Yeah, you got to sometimes just let the kids play, as some would say.
Did you see anything there, Tyler?
I think there was a potential for a push. The Skaneateles player was in front of the Cazenovia guy, and it kind of looked like he got hit from behind, but nothing warranting of a whistle.
6:35 to go in this one. Wrapping around the goal, Skaneateles, they have a bunch of their second-line guys in, if you will.
Which allows for guys to get experience. Ultimately, as the season progresses, you don't, and if you need a guy, God forbid someone gets hurt or otherwise, you want guys to be able to step up.
Well, a sneakily bad turnover there. Cazenovia will try and respond, and this one goes high over the crossbar, out of bounds past the end line, but Cazenovia's going to hold on. They had Cole Basic over there who was close. Didn't even have to chase the shot. He knew he'd have it with 6:06 to go in the fourth quarter.
Brian Pezzi was the guy with the shot. He thought about passing it, and he probably should have. He didn't have the greatest of angles. I know it's crunch time for Cazenovia, but as we've been saying before, stick to your fundamentals.
Cole Basic passing to the near side for Ty Fryer, who loses it. He's got to get there. Fryer coming over. He's really taking his time. He's falling down, and I think we are going to get that flag there.
Clear trip there. Good call by the referee. The Skaneateles, the player, who is that, number 21, 24?
Yeah.
Ryan Bellinger. Just tried to get the stick over, try to get the ball, possession for Skaneateles, and just didn't have 100% awareness on that one.
Well, you got to wonder now what Cazenovia is going to be able to pull off, because they go ahead and score here with 5:43 to go in the game. They're down by 5, and then to me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Tyler, it all comes down to, can you walk away from faceoffs with possession?
That is 100% correct on that one, Julian. There has not been any clear wins on faceoff on either side, and if Cazenovia can start doing that now.
Long shot and a score for Cole Basic, laying it down into the back of the net, and the Mercyhurst commit is on fire as of late for Cazenovia. He puts Cazenovia into the double digits on the day. It's 15-10.
I think regardless of how this game goes, both teams could walk away and say they played hard throughout. Although it might not look at from the scoreboard, and you can say, oh, Tyler, Cazenovia was up 3-0, and they ended up going on they were on the wrong end of a 15-7 run. But both teams have played hard, and they have gotten quality shots and just hasn't broke the way Cazenovia's wanted, and it has for Skaneateles.
Sometimes that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that's lacrosse for you.
But Cazenovia here trying to change the narrative a little bit.
5:30 remaining, 5 goals down. I think there is a definite possibility for a comeback. The game isn't over, simply put.
You think there is a definite possibility. Well, I like those odds if I'm a Cazenovia fan. Here comes Comer, and he lays it in. Jack Comer, the sophomore defenseman, also a midfielder, somehow getting that long bounce shot, towering over everybody on the Cazenovia defense, and they get it right back, 16-10.
That's the second time he's done that today, and that's just poor defense, in my opinion, on Cazenovia. When a guy, you have a long stick, just hit the bottom, force the ball to pop loose. I don't know what you could say for that one for Cazenovia.
Well, you let a guy like Jack Comer come downfield, he's going to make you pay for it with a bounce shot like that. And right there, yet another example of Jack Comer laying down the law.
Almost deja vu there from his first goal of the game. Fast break opportunity, off the bounce, bang, bang.
So we head back to midfield. Once again, a 6-goal game. Fourth quarter, 5 minutes to go. This ball rolls to the right, and Coming over to get it. Cazenovia a chance and setting up a shot.
Good
the ball
play.
Scooped away. I'm sorry, Tyler. Go ahead.
Good play by Ryan Gick to get his stick up in front of the pass there. And now Skaneateles has possession.
Pat Hackler down there to get it.
He almost had a fast break opportunity, but it was a pass just too out front. But I think Pat Hackler, and as he scores his second goal of the game.
Yeah, Pat Hackler, another pinpoint shot. That one goes into the lower corner of the net. And all of a sudden, it's a 7-goal game, and Cazenovia starting to drown in the lake.
And it looks like now Skaneateles is changing goalies. Connor Ellison is coming in to replace Quentin McLeod.
And the scoreboard here at Cazenovia, I believe, is incorrect. They have Skaneateles winning 18-10. It should be 17-10, and I think we'll probably have a referee or a coach ask to have that change in a moment, and they do indeed change it.
I will say this on behalf of Skaneateles. Pat Hackler, hands down your best player. Would you agree with that one, Julian?
Today, I would say, in terms of what we've seen today, Hackler's been really good at the midfielder position, but also, we've seen a really nice performance from Danforth and also Powers.
And Brunel as well. But that's the point I'm trying to make. Pat Hackler, the guy who you think is the star in this team, he hasn't had a great game to his standards, one would say. But you got guys like Danforth, Powers, Brunel, Jack Comer's got 2 goals. Grayson Brunel himself has got a goal. It's been a really good job spreading the wealth, and it just shows that even when your number 1 guy isn't there, you got guys that will definitely fill in his shoes.
Well, we know that Pat Hackler is just an overall athletic guy. He's committed to Yale, and we know from what we saw in the fall that he is so dominant on the football field. Long shot, and that one misses to the right for Hayes Danforth, the younger brother of John Danforth.
And you mentioned he plays football, he plays quarterback, and those leadership skills as a quarterback definitely carry over to the lacrosse field. We said it earlier, he was like a 4th coach at the beginning of the game. He gave the pregame speech to his squad right before the game started.
Absolutely, Tyler. There's no doubt about what you just said. You've got a leadership personality, a leadership quality, as this one is set into the net by Colin Weeks, the junior midfielder. He gets himself into the box score 18-10 now. Skaneateles with 3:55 to go in the 4th quarter. But I got to tell you, Tyler, when a guy is a leader, a lot of times it really doesn't matter what sport he's playing. Guys will gravitate to him.
Exactly. And I would not be surprised if I heard that Pat Hackler is respected by his classmates in the classroom as well. Just not his teammates on the field, whatever sport he's playing, because leadership quality, as you mentioned, carries over throughout, and I think that will definitely translate as he goes on to Yale.
I would tend to agree with you.
Yes.
And we'll be keeping a close eye on him, as we do all Central New York athletes, as he heads over to Yale.
It's a shame he's not going to Syracuse to play for Coach John Desko. I think Coach Desko would love to have him, but Yale is getting a talented player.
That they are, and fight for the ball here. And someone's got a ground ball chance. Skaneateles probably going to get it here. Oh, nice push away by...
Are we playing hockey or lacrosse? Because everyone just poking at it.
Yeah, Cole Basic came over and essentially pushed Ryan Gick out of the way.
That's where the frustration starts to set in. You're down 8 with 3 minutes to go. You were up 3-0 earlier in the game. And Cole Basic, I think a little bit of frustration starting to show.
I think that's natural, though, Tyler,
Yes.
don't you think?
I could say from experience, when you're playing a sport, regardless of what it is, and you're down and you had an opportunity to win and it's just not happening, you get a little frustrated, and that will end up showing. And you can't let that happen. Regardless of what the outcome of the game is, you can't let your emotions get the better of you. That will ultimately hurt your team even greater.
Absolutely, yeah. An 18-10 game here. Skaneateles up by 8. 4th quarter, 3:36 to go. And I'm going to send things over to Ben Shep on our production team to tell us who are the top 3 right now in the Masters race.
Right now, we got Tony Finau, we got Francesco Molinari,
That is correct.
and we have Tiger Woods.
What's the unders under par?
They're all tied at -11 currently.
Oh my God, this is gonna make for an awesome Sunday afternoon.
Well, we've got all that Masters coverage coming up for you on... Oh, just kidding. No, we don't.
I
But
wish. No, I'm kidding.
we're here in Cazenovia, New York, instead, where we're finishing off the game. 3:36 to go in the 4th quarter. Skaneateles leading by 8, and you've got only 3 minutes and 36 seconds of game time until you can switch things over to ESPN and check out the Masters.
Actually, it's on CBS.
CBS, excuse me.
Listen to the
Why
beautiful voice of Jim Nance and Nick Faldo.
Why did I think that it was also also on ESPN this year?
So the way it is, on Thursday and Friday, ESPN has the coverage.
There we go. Okay.
And they have all the CBS people come over and actually do play-by-play for them. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it goes to CBS.
Well, Tyler, you've explained it well. Thank you for enlightening me. I didn't know. I haven't been watching the Masters quite as closely as perhaps I should.
You've been following those Orioles.
Yeah, I have. Holding on to any bit of hope I can. Skaneateles working it to the left here, and I think we're going to get some sort of... Oh, we're getting an offsides call?
Offside.
Offsides on
1,
Skaneateles.
2, 3, 4.
All their midfielders are standing behind the midline.
They have one midfielder, but they have 4 guys back there.
Wow, that's
an interesting call right there.
That's bizarre. They've got their defenseman standing over to the right. They got one midfielder standing just behind that midfield line, and yet they get flagged, or rather not flagged, but of course penalized for offsides.
I don't know what the ref saw. Maybe he thought someone accidentally stepped over, but still, I don't know. And now the refs are gonna. There's a flag.
So now we're going to get a conduct penalty on Cazenovia.
Cazenovia? We sure?
Well, he pointed towards...
He pointed in that direction, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't either, and he didn't... I don't believe he gave a number.
And no one's motioning toward the box, so I think they're just going to call it off.
Well, Skaneateles is going to get the ball.
Right, Skaneateles will get the ball. But... Which is odd because they were just called for offside.
That's what I don't understand.
I'm confused, honestly.
Skaneateles was just called for offsides, and then we had a conduct call, so that had to be against Cazenovia, and they have to be enforcing it.
And I guess they're not.
Wind-up shot. This one deflected away, and almost an opportunity for Colin Weeks to get back into the goal.
Colin Weeks, a nice juke move there, and the bench was loving it. They thought I think if he would have scored, the bench would have lost it.
Oh, yeah, they would have absolutely erupted. He was the second line in.
It's almost like a crossover in basketball when a guy makes another guy drop and then hits the 3.
Right. When the bench guys come into play at the end of a blowout basketball game, everybody just goes crazy.
Yes. But blowout regards, Cazenovia can't quit. They got to keep fighting here. Maybe get 1 or 2 more goals to salvage this one a little bit.
Yeah, just around 3 minutes left in this game as we'll get a whistle. And I think are they gonna call that a good? They put their hands up. I think we're gonna get a timeout. Our producer says timeout. Ben Shep does. Thank you so much, Ben.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that. Timeout called by Skaneateles.
And I honestly don't know why Skaneateles is calling the timeout. Maybe Coach Dr. Cazenovia.
Oh, Cazenovia timeout. Okay, there we go. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Makes way more sense. Thank you so much. Our production team really coming through for us right now as we try to straighten out everything. Well, take a step back for a moment to the call that was made just a moment ago. They called offsides on Skaneateles, and then they called a conduct penalty on Cazenovia. The part about that I don't understand is that normally a conduct penalty would entail 30 minutes of a man of possession.
30 seconds.
I'm sorry, excuse me. 30 seconds, of course. 30 minutes would be a little bit overkill.
Yes.
30 seconds of a man of possession. So why Skaneateles had the ball and they weren't a man up, that I don't understand.
I think the only reasonable thing to say about that one is they offset. I think.
Does a conduct penalty offset with an offsides call?
No, especially given the fact that I don't think anyone was offside.
Right, but they did clearly motion that. They very clearly motioned that it was offsides.
And I didn't even see anything of misconduct on any player on the field. So I think the referees just had a little mental lapse.
What a nice way of putting it, Tyler.
You got to give referees the credit. I've played a number of sports in my day, and at times the referees, they're human too. They're gonna make mistakes. You got to give them a break.
Good point. Good point. Tyler in the corner of the referees today.
One of few will be in the corner of a referee. You don't see that very often.
Oh, I'm sure they appreciate it if they're rewatching this game. 2:40 to go until the end of the game. Another whistle.
And by the way, Julian, you just mentioned if they're rewatching this game, you can rewatch all the games on cnystream.com in the archive section.
There you go, Tyler. You're getting the hang of it. Love to hear it. 2:39, and we're going to turn things over to Skaneateles. That time, I think we did get a legitimate offsides call.
Yes. And let's see what Skaneateles can do here. Will they put on any more goals, continue to put the pressure, or will they just hold on to the ball? What do you think?
Good question. I think if Skaneateles is smart, they'll hold on here. That would be my best guess, and I don't think Cazenovia is going to fight them too much unless they're just feeling emotional.
And I think a turnover on Skaneateles. I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe.
Well, it looked like perhaps Ben Spinelli of Skaneateles was pushed.
That might have been it, but Cazenovia has the ball, so it could have been.
Well, I'm not saying on a penalty level. I think he was actually just pushed past the end line.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I should have clarified.
Yeah.
Now, Cazenovia has the ball, and they're down by 8, but just hanging on for dear life, spinning away. The ball comes free, recovered by Cole Basic, and this one fired to the far side. It'll go a little bit errant.
I will say this, though. A good crowd throughout this game supporting both squads here. They have stayed throughout this entire game.
Now at the top, it'll be Cazenovia trying to find that perfect shot, impending penalty on Skaneateles.
It might be a slash off Skaneateles.
The ball comes free, and we'll see it enforced. So a 1-minute slash, you're right, Tyler, and it'll be charged against Colin Weeks, who will step out.
Minute 40 to go. Let's see if Cazenovia can maybe get one more goal on the board. Just keep up morale, if you will.
Yeah, well, it's super important. And Cazenovia down by 8, get a score here, get a score there, then add 6 more of them. Maybe, just maybe, we could see ourselves destined for overtime.
You know, what I've always said, when I was younger, I'd always figure out, like, all right, we're down by X amount. All right, we need this many a goal per this many seconds. This might not be the case here, but regardless, this is the first league game for both of these squads. Skaneateles will go to 1-0, obviously. Cazenovia will fall to 0-1. I think both teams can look back on this and say, we've played hard throughout. We didn't quit. Just gotta, and then just move on if you're Cazenovia to the next game.
So Cazenovia again just trying to find that open man, a lane to penetrate. They work it back to the top and out to the near side. It's Ryan Romanoli. Romanoli with 1:13 to go in this game. Fires down the middle and finished off beautifully for the shot. The score, Cazenovia gets one back. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was Brian Pezzi again.
It was Brian Pezzi, and that's goal number 5. 5 golden rings, 5 goals for Brian Pezzi. He has been a standout player for the Cazenovia Lakers squad in a game where things kind of got out of hand for them.
No, that's certainly true.
I think what ultimately did Cazenovia in, they started off the game well. They were passing the ball around. They weren't trying to get too fancy. They were sticking within their offense. And then eventually, I don't know what happened. Cazenovia tried to play not their style of lacrosse. They tried to play more one-on-one game. They weren't being as much of a team unit, and that ultimately did them in.
Yeah, when you're not playing like a team, you're not playing at all. And
no.
I think we saw an example of that today. Got 1:10 left, 70 seconds, if you will, until the final buzzer. Cazenovia will win the face-off and just try and get some more points for pride.
Indeed.
Cazenovia will fall to 1-5 on the season. Skaneateles will rise to 4-2.
Quick note on Brian Pezzi. That was his 12th goal of the year. He's playing very well, the junior attackman. I think he's got a big future the rest of this season and next season.
Oh, you know, that'll turn scouts' heads when a guy starts racking up goals quickly. Down the middle chance. Instead, they opt to go to X. 38 seconds left in this game. It's Pezzi again. Pezzi getting away from 2 defenders, and let's see if he can. Wrapping around, perhaps. Instead, he cuts it back the other way, and Pezzi will just dump it off. Down the middle shot, and that one saved nicely.
Good save right there.
That was Connor Ellison into the game.
Good save by Ellison. He came in late, a couple minutes ago, and it looks like Skaneateles is going to close out this game.
Yeah,
20 seconds to go.
Yeah, they'll back everything out. Cazenovia will, as Skaneateles will just try and wind it out. The ball does, for a moment, go out of bounds. And are we going to get a penalty? No.
I can't imagine they're calling a penalty. 8.4 seconds remaining.
Well, Cazenovia is getting the ball. So one last chance for the Cazenovia Lakers as the clock hits 0. That one bounces off of Connor Ellison, and that is how this game will end here today. Final score, 18-11. Skaneateles walks away victorious, and they will take their victory all the way across US 20, the route that connects Skaneateles with I-81 and Cazenovia. They'll take it back home to Skaneateles Lake, and they will rise to 4-2 on the year.
Great game all around by Skaneateles. They were down early, but they fought. They were resilient, and ultimately, I think the game comes down to player of the game for me, Evan Brunell, 4 goals, and he's just a dominant force. But good shout-out also to Brandon Powers and John Danforth. just a great offense run all around by Skaneateles.
Yeah, Skaneateles, they showed today why they are one of the most impressive teams in the Salt City Athletic Conference when it comes to lacrosse, and a real nice job of getting it done today, in the Onondaga Hill Conference, and they did a real nice job of getting it done today. Skaneateles here in Cazenovia walks away with a road victory. Final score 18-11. Player of the game, Tyler, who you got on tap?
I just mentioned him, Evan Brunell, 4 goals in total, but I can't just give it to one guy. Brandon Powers and John Danforth, I think it's the 3 of them, they all got player of the game honors. Evan Brunell, 4 goals. Brandon Powers, 2 goals and assists, but very good offensive. He set the tempo and the pace for this team. And then John Danforth, 3 goals and assists. Just a dominant force all around.
Yeah, real nice job by the Skaneateles Lakers, and so this is our cue to go ahead and sign off. Once again, from Cazenovia, New York, I'm Julian Barron alongside Tyler Melito, Ben Shep, our producer, and Kyle Loughran running the camera. We want to say thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time right here on CNY Stream.